Bella Sicilia.
Wait, shouldn't that be bella? Well, technically yes, bella is the Italian word for beautiful, but in Sicily the local language is called Sicilian and surprises await around every corner. Don't believe it? Try asking for directions in your polished Italian at one of Palermo's bustling markets, and chances are you get a colourful response sprinkled with exotic terms like
Accusì, così.
so, or you might hear
Ma va scusare, le chiedo scusa.
meaning I beg your pardon. From its history to its grammar, in this video lesson we'll explore the key differences between Sicilian and Standard Italian. Pronti? Iniziamo! Now, while Italian might be the official language of Italy, every region proudly boasts its own dialect, accent, and linguistic quirks. After all, Italy only became a unified nation in 1861, and before that, it was like a patchwork of independent states, each representing a unique identity. And boy, does Sicily add some serious uniqueness to this mosaic. What's truly fascinating is that Sicilian isn't just a simple dialect, but a distinct language in its own right. Just consider that, according to the UNESCO's World Atlas of Languages, there are some 10 million speakers worldwide. That's a seriously impressive statistic that speaks volumes about its significance and enduring cultural impact. Now, Italian and Sicilian both belong to the Romance language family, tracing their roots back to Vulgar Latin. However, Sicilian is unique because it reflects the island's intricate history, shaped by centuries of cultural exchange and foreign influences. For more than 3 millennia, Sicily's strategic position in the heart of the Mediterranean, coupled with its gorgeous landscapes and fertile land, attracted a myriad of civilizations. The Greeks were some of the earliest to leave their mark here, setting up cities like Catania, Siracusa, and Taormina, along with grand temples and theatres. Then came the Romans, who ran the show for about 5 centuries, turning Sicily into Rome's granary, supplying the Roman Republic with large quantities of wheat through extensive agricultural exploitation. After them, a parade of peoples, including the Ostrogoths, Byzantines, Arabs, Normans, and the Spanish, each added their own flavour to the mix. Now, as you can guess, all these influences left their trace on the language. Sicilian soaked up words and phrases from these diverse populations, resulting in a linguistic heritage unrivaled by any other language. Now, just to give you a taste, here are some Italian words borrowed from other languages that are still used today.
Caruso, ragazzo.
Meaning boy. This comes from Greek.
Cirasa, ciliegia.
Meaning cherry. This also comes from Greek.
Astura, a quest'ora.
At this time, from Latin.
Prescia, fretta.
Hurry, from Latin.
Abbaniare, gridare.
To shout. This comes into Sicilian via German.
Mischino, poverino.
Meaning unfortunate person, from Arabic.
Giara, recipiente di terracotta per liquidi.
Jar, also from Arabic.
Scerra, lite.
Argument, from Arabic. From French we have words like
Armoiro, armadio.
wardrobe,
Racina, uva.
grapes,
Buatta, barattolo.
tin, and from Spanish we have
Curtiglio, pettegolezzo.
gossip,
Pignata, pentola.
saucepan,
Giornata, giornata.
day. What's really interesting is that Sicilian actually helped shape the first Italian literary language. Back in the 13th century, during the time of Emperor Frederick II of Swabia, Sicily was home to the Sicilian school, a group of poets who were way ahead of their time. They introduced new literary techniques like the sonnet, which heavily influenced Western literature. Their work gained such widespread acclaim across Italy that even Dante, in his book
De vulgari eloquentia,
wrote, everything produced by Italians in terms of poetry is called Sicilian. Now, Sicilian and Italian indeed share some common grammatical features, such as the distinction between two genders, masculine and feminine, and numbers, singular and plural, as well as definite and indefinite articles, and much more. However, Sicilian has its own unique grammar, vocabulary, and a way of speaking that sets it apart. It's so distinct that the language coding agency, SIL International, has included Sicilian in a specific code denoting living languages. This means Sicilians could be considered bilingual in a way. Now, don't panic, Italian remains the official language spoken in Sicily, just like it is throughout Italy. Now, you won't find Sicilian taught in local schools. Instead, people pick it up through everyday conversations. Despite this, Sicilian is still widely spoken on the island, especially in casual settings with friends and family. You might hear it more often in remote villages or among older generations, and sometimes it's mixed in with standard Italian, making it even trickier to understand. Even Italians from the mainland find Sicilian challenging to grasp, so don't be discouraged if you struggle a little along the way. Let's take a closer look at some key differences that make Sicilian stand out. Different pronouns and articles. Now, starting with the basics, Sicilian personal pronouns are different from their Italian counterparts. Take a look.
You, io,
I,
tu, tu,
you,
idru, lui,
he,
idda, lei,
she.
vossia, lei,
Formal.
nuautri, noi,
We,
voiautri, voi,
you,
iddi, essi,
they,
idde, esse.
they. The definite articles in Sicilian are
U,
for,
il,
the, masculine, as in
u cavallo, il cavallo.
the horse,
A,
for,
la,
the, feminine, as in
a mogliera, la moglie.
the wife,
I,
for,
i,
and
le,
the, masculine and feminine plural,
i femmini, le donne.
the women. The indefinite articles in Sicilian are
Nu,
for,
uno,
a, masculine, as in
nu picciriddu, un bambino.
a kid or baby,
Na,
for,
una,
a, feminine, as in
na para di, un paio di.
a pair of. Now forget everything you thought you knew about verbs in Italian. Now Sicilians love using the remote past tense to talk about things that have already happened, whether it's something light years away from the present or an event that just happened moments ago. For example,
Mi manciai na persica uora uora. Mi mangiai una pesca ora ora.
I've just eaten a peach.
Vi lo dissi, ve l'ho detto.
I told you. The future seems almost non-existent in Sicilian. What matters is the present. Now, as a famous writer wrote, how can you not be pessimistic in a country where the future tense doesn't exist? Hence, future actions are articulated using the present tense, often adding a time adverb to hint when something is going to happen. For example,
Quando finisciu i mangiare, niesciu.
in standard Italian you would say,
Quando finirò di mangiare, uscirò.
when I finish eating, I will go out.
Vegno l'anno venturo.
In standard Italian it would be,
Vengo l'anno prossimo.
I'll come next year. The conditional tense, on the other hand, finds itself relegated to the shadows, replaced by the subjunctive mood. Take a look at these examples.
Se potessi o facissi.
In standard Italian you would say,
Se potessi, lo farei.
if I could, I would do it.
Se me l'avessi detto, ti l'avessi portato.
In standard Italian it would be,
Se me lo avessi detto, te l'avrei portato.
If you had told me, I would have brought it to you. The verb
essere, essere,
to be surrenders its auxiliary role to the verb
avere, avere.
to have. Take a look at these examples.
Hai stato,
Instead of,
sono stato.
I have been.
Avete stato,
Instead of,
sei stato.
you have been. And when it comes to saying have to, in Sicilian they swap out dovere to have to for avere, as in,
Avete a travagliare,
in standard Italian you would say,
dovete lavorare.
you have to work.
Hai a stare con tia,
Instead of,
devo stare con te.
I have to stay with you. Now, it's practically impossible to pronounce vowels and consonants just like you would in standard Italian. For example, the vowels E and O are only pronounced open. Words ending with an E in the Italian language change to an I ending in Sicilian. For example,
Mare,
sea,
mari. Sole,
sun.
suli.
Words ending in O in Italian take on a U in Sicilian. For example,
Uomo,
man,
omo. Pozzo,
well.
puzzo.
The Italian syllables
Gli, glia,
and
gli,
turn into
giu, gia,
and
ghi.
in Sicilian. For example,
Scoglio,
becomes
scoglio.
cliff,
Sbrogliare,
becomes
spirugliare.
to unravel,
Figli,
becomes
figli.
sons. Further differences between Italian and Sicilian can be found in the pronunciation of the following consonant clusters, which are ng becomes nc, as in
Spincere, spingere.
to push. Ns becomes nz, as in
Penso, penso.
I think. Nd becomes a double N, as in
Munno, mondo.
world. TR is pronounced similar to the TR sound in the English word tree. The double L turns into a double D in Sicilian. For example,
Cavallo,
becomes
cavallo.
horse,
Bella,
becomes
bella.
beautiful. Now let's take a look at some unique constructions and usage. Now, drawing from Spanish, Sicilian uses the preposition a to introduce the animated direct object complement. This refers to a living being, whether a person or an animal, that represents the object of the action indicated by the transitive verb in a sentence. Take a look at these examples.
Vitti a Lucia,
For,
ho visto Lucia.
I saw Lucia.
Salutai a tuo frati,
In standard Italian it would be,
ho salutato tuo fratello.
I said hello to your brother. The masculine form occasionally steps in for the feminine and vice versa. Take a look.
Un negozio,
A shop, masculine, becomes
napotia.
feminine.
Un'arancia,
An orange, feminine, becomes
narancio.
masculine. Now, Sicilians are masters of the art of doubling. Seriously, they double pretty much everything to add emphasis. For example, adverbs such as
Ora ora,
meaning now now, or
assai assai.
meaning very very. They also do it with adjectives, including
Sicca sicca,
thin thin, or
sulu sulu.
lonely lonely. This also includes verbs. For example,
Cu veni veni,
who comes comes, or
como sugno sugno.
how I am. Some Sicilian idiomatic expressions possess a distinct charm that is really hard to translate. For example, we have
futtitinne.
Now, this can be loosely translated as forget about it, but its meaning hides a much more profound philosophy of embracing life lightly and forgetting about trivial matters. Next we have
Camurria.
this is usually translated as annoyance, but it doesn't simply convey any irritation. It's the exasperation that builds up when someone keeps getting on your nerves, turning into a real headache. The next expression is
Peri peri.
now, this literally translates to feet, and might seem nonsensical at first, but in Sicilian, it's a playful way of saying roaming around, capturing that sense of wandering. Then we have
Liscia.
now, this is all about lightness and laughter, capturing the real joy of simply being alive and finding delight in the everyday. It's like Sicilian sunshine in a word. Next we have
Cataprasima.
now, this is a word used to describe someone who seems to lack any spark of responsiveness or usefulness. There's no neat translation for it in Italian either. It's uniquely Sicilian. Now, to continue your learning and to help you practice everything you've learned here today, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, and you'll find a link to that in the description box below this video. If you enjoyed this lesson, then you'll love Intrepid Italian, my series of online self-paced video courses that break down everything you need to know about Italian using my unique 80-20 method. More details in the description below. If you enjoyed this lesson about the differences between Sicilian and Standard Italian, make sure you watch this video here to learn about Romanesco, the language of Rome. In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel and turn on those notifications so you get an alert when I post more video lessons like this one. Until next time, un abbraccio, ciao!